Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to today's video. This episode will guide you through the issues of the New Mutants published in 1983. Issue number 2. Danny is running for her life. She got ambushed after having completed her test in the danger room and is now stuck in a dangerously lethal simulation. Regardless of her having the power to summon a person's darkest fears and to project them into intangible three-dimensional images, those extraordinary powers will not save her from the threat she's currently facing. As she's trying to get away from the creature that's chasing her, she stumbles and falls into a pool. She gets up and keeps running until she reaches a rock formation and climbs on top of it. She's very tired and lies down to rest a bit. When she gets up, she takes a look at the surroundings and is amazed by the view. She is aware of her still being in the danger room, but the illusion it has created of her being in the wilderness is near perfect. She thinks back to earlier in the afternoon about what the professor had said about this specific training sequence. She wonders how she's gotten stuck in it and figures that someone is out to kill her. She keeps climbing up the rocky wall and figures it must mark the walls of the danger room, and if she follows it, she should be able to reach the outside. When she arrives at the plateau, she is confronted by another creature, which starts talking to her. It says that she will not find her salvation, and that the creature would prefer for Danny to carry his offspring, but that she's too dangerous because Danielle has sensed his presence and could bring about the creature's destruction, and therefore she must die. She slips, falls down, with her fall being slowed by the trees and plants some, and ends up on her back on the ground. She thinks about her parents being slain many years ago as she does, and she believes that she will join them soon. She just hopes they'll be happy to see her. Danielle's fellow students are coming out of a cinema, along with their teacher Stevie Hunter. Rain's a bit emotional from the movie they went to. This being her first time in a cinema, she thought E.T. was real. It seemed like magic to her. They're getting themselves some ice cream while Stevie calls home, to see if everything's going alright. They get approached by other kids about their age, and one of them gets impolite real quick. Roberto immediately gets defensive, having been on the short end of the stick of bullies before. Rain gets asked by a girl what her name is and if she's punk or new wave, because of her hairdo. She responds she's Scots, not being familiar with any of those terms. The less friendly guy asks if that goes for the rest of them as well, and Roberto tells him that they are international terrorists. What the kids don't know is that the mall is being held under surveillance by Project Wide Awake, and them even more so. There's a whole division specifically focused on the potential global threat of mutants, headed by Gyrick. He's speaking to Sebastian Shaw, the Black King of the Hellfire Club. They're talking about the potential mutants have in tipping the scales of political and militaristic powers of nations worldwide. Mutants are popping up everywhere. Gyrick is devoted to unravel the mutant mysteries involved, backed by the United States government. Unbeknownst to Gyrick, Sebastian Shaw is a mutant himself, and he recognizes Roberto da Costa on screen, because his father, Emmanuel da Costa, is a member of the Hellfire Club as well. Shaw of course knows about the run-in the kids had with his former associate Donald Pierce, and how fairly easily they defeated him, not even fully control of their mutant abilities. Shaw and Gyrick make their way to a different segment of Project Wide Awake, and have a discussion on whether Gyrick will use the mechanical giants Shaw's factory has been manufacturing. Shaw is trying to goad Gyrick into using his weaponry, because he has plans for himself. Where Gyrick simply wants to capture the kids to contain them and examine them, Shaw wants to make the kids paranoid and suspicious of everyone, except their own kind. So that once Xavier is dealt with, the Hellfire Club will offer them sanctuary, which they will then gladly accept. In the meantime, Stevie is becoming worried. She tried to contact the school but no one's picking up, which is odd because Xavier and Danielle were both supposed to stay at home this afternoon and they didn't activate the voicemail either. As she tries to rationalize her thoughts, her mouth is being covered and she's being dragged into a storage room, with the door closed and locked behind her. The assailant tells her to stop struggling and listen closely. He's a friend and he will let her go if she promises not to scream. He tells her time is of the essence and that the kids are in danger. He asks for her to trust him, and she nods. It appears to be Michael Rossi, Colonel of the Air Force Intelligence. Stevie recognizes the name with him being a former colleague and lover of Carol Danvers. He says that was a long time ago, in a different world. Stevie also recalls how he's supposed to be dead, and Michael tells her that was a ruse, allowing him to have an advantage being able to remain undercover. He tells her she's in need of his help. While Michael Rossi starts to explain what he means by that, the kids are being invited to a school dance while there are policemen approaching them. These men identify as federal agents and they ask the kids to come along with them. Sean notices that it's not really a request but more of a command. She asks them if there's something wrong and if they're under arrest. One of the agents tells her that it's just a routine procedure. Sean is wary of corruption amongst authorities in her homeland and hopes that what Stevie told her about it being different here is true. Regardless of Roberto wanting to wait until Stevie has rejoined them, they decide to follow along and be escorted by the agents. While they're being escorted, Sean wonders if she made the right call. Being the eldest, the rest of the kids follow Sean's lead, albeit somewhat reluctantly. As they arrive at the parking lot, they're being told to freeze, while at gunpoint. It's Colonel Rossi, accompanied by Stevie. He tells the kids that he will keep the agents occupied and that they should run away, while shooting one of the agents with some form of stun gun. Sam ignites his mutant power and slams one of the agent's car and disables the driver. Another agent tries to leave in his car and heads for the nearest exit, but Roberto smashes right through the car's engine. Sean backs him up by possessing another agent who is about to shoot Roberto from behind. Rain disposes of the team leader as she changes into a wolf form and the agent freezes in his tracks by the side of her fangs. Sam becomes slightly worried by them having attacked government agents, but Rossi assures them that so is he and that these guys are operating outside of the law. Rossi suggests that they have a good long talk, but not here. He suggests to go to the Xavier school and do it there. At that moment, the roof of the parking lot gets smashed in by a mutant hunting Sentinel. The Sentinel assesses the situation and regards the armed human as the biggest current threat. Rossi gets gassed right after he tells the kids to run away because he figures the Sentinel will not be here by himself. Sam blasts the Sentinel upwards, through the roof. As he does, he sees two more Sentinels outside, waiting for them. With the Sentinels not having any data in the memory banks regarding Cannibal, they analyze the mutant. Roberto wants to go and help Sam, and he tells the girls to bring Rossi into safety and try and get into contact with Xavier. Roberto is being trapped in between two of the Sentinels' hands and starts to feel weak. Being inside, hidden from direct sunlight, he doesn't have any power stored. So in a ditch effort, he smashes through the walls to go outside, having totally forgotten that he was 3 stories high. The girls who are carrying Rossi see Roberto falling from high up, and Rain feels she's about to lose a friend. Something she cannot bear, especially not losing Roberto. The Sentinel hunts Roberto and calls him by name, while analyzing his power set. Roberto feels the power coming back to his body, even though it's not yet at its peak, as he notices the robot knowing his name. He wonders if his father can use his power and wealth to deal with these illegal activities of the government if Xavier can't. The Sentinel has calculated that Roberto does not possess enough power to damage it, and concludes minimal defense is required. Roberto begs to differ and grabs the Sentinel by its foot and lifts it up. The Sentinel falls backward right through the walls of the crowded mall. Roberto, regretting the mistake he made, follows the robot inside and dismantles its head from its body, making sure it doesn't get a second chance at attacking. Outside, Sam keeps attacking the Sentinel he moved away from the mall. He's aware of him not really being able to damage it a lot, even though he did tear up a part of his torso. The Sentinel sticks to its prime operational objective and disables Sam and his mutant powers by encapsulating him in an icy substance. It then leaves with Sam in captivity, while the other unit can capture the girls. For Roberto though, they will need more units. This one cannot stay, its condition is deteriorating. Rain and Sean see the unit holding Sam, and Sean tries to establish a connection with Sam's mind, trying to possess him. But Sam being frozen in makes Sean feel what he feels. It's hard on her and she runs the risk of her body having the same sensations as Sam's does. But she keeps pushing and is able to establish a connection and reignite Sam's power. With the Sentinel being damaged and the sudden acceleration, it's not able to loosen its grip on Sam. Sam's flying far away and the Sentinel can't do a thing but follow. At that moment, the other Sentinel fires a beam at Sean and Rain. It blasts right through the overpass the girls are standing in, right between them, separating the two. With Sean using her full concentration on Sam, she's not able to get her own body into safety. Rain sees this and wants to save her, but gets told by Rossi to get the head agent. He can call off these robots, Rossi will take care of Sean until she does. Rain transforms into a wolf form, jumps the gap and sprints, right past Sean, in search of the agent. Roberto joins Stevie and Rossi and asks if they saw what he did to the Sentinel. Stevie responds with saying that they were too busy to witness it, but asks Roberto to be so kind and take care of the other two as well. Stevie ponders about her place in all of this. She's a teacher, a dancer, not a field leader. Not supposed to be making life or death decisions like this. The Sentinel spots Sean and the stage she's in, but also notices Rossi and Roberto and considers them the currently more important task at hand, with them being a critical level threat. Rossi tells Roberto that the Sentinels have her learning capacity and they will not fall for the same trick twice. At that moment, Sam's ice encapsulation has almost fully dissolved, thanks to Sean's possession and usage of Sam's mutant power to blast through the air. As Sam starts to wake up and provide more mental resistance, Sean releases her control, allowing Sam to regain full control over his body. Sam has no idea how he got up here, removed so far from the mall, nor why he can't seem to break free from the Sentinel's grip, but he figures he should use that to everyone's advantage. He starts flying full power towards the shopping mall, straight into the other Sentinel, figuring he'll be fine due to his invulnerable blast field that surrounds him when he's flying. Both of the Sentinels end up getting wrecked. After several minutes, the local police arrives, finding and arresting the agents, along with the head agent, who just keeps confessing about his role and who or what was behind the assault. Sean had possessed his agent and Rossi tells her it's fine to let him go now. The agent is confused about why he's being handcuffed and asks what's going on and that the agent should release him because he's a federal agent. The police captain tells his colleagues to take them away to the bureau. Sean feels bad about using her powers in this way, much the same that her twin brother used to. But Colonel Rossi assures her that this is the best out of two bad things to choose from, because these guys aren't done with hunting mutants, not by a long shot. When the kids arrive back at the mansion, they see Danny lying on the floor of the danger room, unconscious. She wakes up screaming and scared. They wonder what had happened to her and if she and the professor had gotten attacked by the Sentinels as well. Danielle's happy to see Stevie and hugs her. Danielle tells him about what she had experienced and gets told that she should respect the rules as laid out to Xavier to them before. There's reasons for that. Stevie asks Danielle if she could have made a mistake and triggered the program herself, by accident. Danielle says she didn't, and even if she did, she was first attacked outside of the danger room. Stevie figures by Danielle's descriptions of the monster she encountered that it's the same type of creature that kidnapped the X-Men some time ago. But she also thought that there weren't any of them left here on Earth. And what's even more curious, only 3 people are authorized to cancel the safety locks of the computer: Charles, Moira and her. Moira is in Scotland, she herself wasn't around, so that leaves Charles. In Charles' study, we see Xavier having fallen asleep at his desk, nowhere near aware of an image forming over him, an astral image of the Brood Queen. Nor is he aware of its embryo growing inside of him, almost ready to start a metamorphosis from human organism into a brood. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because that will help me out in growing the channel and being able to produce more videos like this one. See you next episode.